Welcome to the Wealthy Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast dedicated to people who want to speak more as a way to build their income and grow their business. Hey, welcome everyone to the Wealthy Speaker Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about building your course or community. And many of you, I know, have thought about putting together a course or some sort of way to create passive income. My coach, Dan Sullivan, says that what we've got ourselves into at, a certain level of the speaking business is just a really well-paid job where we're still trading our time for money. Think about that. If you're not doing anything outside of trading your time for money, then you're going to have some sort of limit on how much you can earn. Now, obviously, we have clients here who are earning well over $1 million, and so that's not too shabby. But at some point, they need to create ancillary income so that they can come in off the road and not burn out. That's kind of the goal. So one of the things that we try to do here at Speaker Launcher is be a good steward, a good role model for those of you who are building your business. We try to set the bar really high. And because we're going through the development of our own course right now, course and community actually, I wanted to just kind of lay out some things that we're learning so that you can maybe learn from some of the mistakes that we made, some of the things that we see out there as we go through this process. It's a really interesting process. And this is not my first rodeo. I started developing courses 15 years ago. Not necessarily courses, but certainly group coaching programs. And miserable failure. Of course, I didn't charge very much, which was good. The first time out, we had way too many people on the line, and speakers like to speak, and so people weren't getting to talk, and so there was some value there for some people, but it really wasn't what I wanted. And I learned over time, my groups got smaller and smaller, and we started to segment people off. And now we're really good at segmenting, and we know how to go deep on topics for people who are kind of all at the same level as each other. That's really a goal. And so as you think about, I have a series of questions for you. We're going to put these in the show notes. That you can get over at speakerlauncher.com. Just click on podcasts and you'll see the podcast called How to Build Your Course or Community. I want you to be thinking as we go through these questions, am I really ready? And it could be that you've already thought through all of this, and it could be that you've already got everything and all the wheels in motion. So question number one, if you're just starting to think about it, is who is your target market? Do you have them already, or do you need to build first? If you're out speaking, my goal for you is that you are pulling people in from every audience, pulling them into your database through some sort of, if you pull out your phone and text this number to this, and then you put in your email address, I'm going to give you this great carrot. We want to dangle a really solid carrot in order to get people to pull out their phones. And so your goal is to be pulling those people in so that when you have your course, you already have a nice warm audience, because of course, once they come into your world through that carrot, you have started to market to them on a regular basis with your newsletter, with your podcast, with all of the content that you are feeding them and keeping them nice and warm so that when you have an offering like this, it's ready to roll. So we've been here in business for 15 years. And so we've done a lot of list hygiene. We've had our list way up over 10,000 speakers. Now we sit about 7, and my goal is to get it back to 10 of really, really solid people who are opening up what it is. They're picking up what we're throwing down. And we can see in Infusionsoft how they're doing. And so we actually do little campaigns that say, hey, you're not opening anything that we're sending, so we're going to take you off the list. And then, okay, here we go. We're going to take you off the list. And you get about 3 reminders and then you go. So we have our target market segmented down into 3 buckets. And that may be how you go as well. And you may decide to do a course just for one of your buckets. I'll share you with mine, and then I'll give you some other examples. We have emerging speakers. Those are speakers who are new to the business and maybe are earning, kind of up to $75,000 per year. They are typically just starting out. Some of them will transition over from another business. Then in our 775 to kind of 350,000 bucket, that's our rising superstars. And those are people who have been around the block. They've been doing this for a little while and they want to scale. And then we have our seasoned pros who are earning 350K plus, and a lot of them want to get to 7 figures. And so our course that we're not starting to develop, we've been developing it now for several months, will be designed to actually pull people in on all 3 of those markets, and we'll unfold one at a time. So every time you do a course or write a book or introduce, a new income stream, it's like starting a small business. So you really have to put a lot of time and attention towards it in order to do it properly. And this, I'm so happy that we have the summer ahead of us to really get a lot of these things that we're doing in the can, because there's going to be a lot of recording to do based on how much content we really want to put into our program. I'm going to unveil to you all the name of our school right now. Drum roll, please. We will be launching in the late summer, early fall, the Wealthy Speaker School. And that's what it's called. So if you want to learn more about it, go to speakerlauncher.com/school, and you'll be able to sign up for the waitlist and find out when details are rolling out. That's not my purpose of this particular podcast, but I do want to let you know that that's coming. And a lot of you have been following me for a long time, so I'm sure that makes you very happy. It's going to be coming in at a really low price point. My team is kind of fighting me on this, but I'm sticking to my guns because I really want people. The biggest thing that I see, so think about what problem you're helping to solve with your course. What problem are you helping to solve with your course? The problem that I'm helping to solve is that speakers love the idea of speaking for a living. I mean, who wouldn't? How cool is that? Getting paid to speak. I think about my, 2nd grade speaker who wrote that I talk too much on my report card every year. They don't necessarily figure out all the tools and aren't able to get off the ground. Getting off the ground is the hardest part. And I want to make that easier for people. And I want to make it easier for them at a price that they can afford so that they can then put more money into their business. So that's my goal. That's my reason for keeping it not super, super steep. So think about what problem you're solving. Think about what value you are bringing to the table. Now, in terms of market, the more specific you can be on this, I think the better. I just listened to a podcast where it was a woman who was an expert who helped photographers. And she started out helping them with all the different aspects of photography. And then she shifted over to having a course about helping people learn photography for, like a branded image. You'll see people like us, speakers and thought leaders, often will want photography like that. And so she teaches photographers how to do that. Like, how narrow is that? You'd think it would be very, very narrow, but I think her first outing, she had 350 people in her course. So that just goes to show you that the more specific you can get, the more you can speak their language, and the better off you will be. I know, having followed, I follow Amy Porterfield, I follow Brooke Castillo. Of course, I go to Strategic Coach in Toronto and I see what they do. So I get lots of kind of ideas from different places. One, Brooke, she coaches a lot of coaches. And there's one coach who is the coach to go to if you want to lose the last 10 pounds. There's another coach you can go to if you have to lose over 100 pounds. There's one woman who they do a lot in weight loss and different things like that. There's one woman who only speaks to practicing physicians about how to lose weight. And so that's very, very narrow. And I don't know that we'll ever go that narrow, but I think that it's food for thought. It makes you think about it, right? The next question I have for you is, how much do you want to offer? How much do you want to give to people? How do you want to give it to people? So we do what we call a hybrid course. It's not just a straight up do-it-yourself course. We have lots and lots of support built in. So we'll have a Facebook page where people can ask questions and share wins and ideas. We'll have Zoom meetings where we'll all get together, and those Zoom meetings will be just for the category that you're in. It won't be necessarily for everybody. We will have lots and lots of videos going throughout the course. It will be me talking to the camera, maybe me interviewing somebody else, maybe an explainer video. There'll be quizzes. I mean, there's lots of ways for you to offer your information. And so how do you want to offer it, and what kind of support do you want to have? I've seen some people say, I don't want to do any Facebook at all. And then other people who say, yeah, sure, I'll start a page for every group that I have. And, there's everything in between. So you just kind of have to decide how much value you want to offer. I got this really neat idea from listening to Amy Porterfield today. She said she had a client on, the girl who was doing the photography thing. And one of the things that she did was mini sessions with people. She would have them write in ahead of time and register for it with their question. And then she could cherry pick the questions, do a 15-minute session with them, record them, and then everybody gets the training on that particular topic, which I thought was really cool, because a lot of times seeing somebody else get coached on the same problem you're having is kind of more painless than it is for you to get coached yourself. So I thought that was a really neat idea. So be thinking about that. How do you lay it out? Now, we've looked at lots and lots of beautiful platforms. For me, the big thing was, can people move through the program and see where they are all the time in terms of what all I've completed already? I really love that. And I wanted it to look attractive aesthetically. That was also very important to me. And I think we also needed it to work for us with Infusionsoft, so that we could see in Infusionsoft where anybody was within the course. So if I was doing a coaching call with somebody, I could see that, okay, they went through all these modules. And then we also wanted it to work nice in a sandbox with WordPress. And we landed on LearnDash. But there are lots of LMSs out there. That's Learning Management System. There's one called Lifter. There's Thinkific. There's just all kinds of things out there for you to choose from. So I would say do your due diligence and don't just pick the first one that comes across, because they are not all created equally. I haven't even mentioned some of the ones that, a lot of you probably have heard of already. All right. What are the features that you're going to offer versus benefits? So features are the things we were just thinking about, like we're going to meet 3 times a month on Zoom, and we're going to have coaching sessions. Another feature might be that you're going to get, this many modules, and you're going to get to all this learning, and here are some of the topics, and that's features, features, features. When you're selling benefits, You're actually selling outcomes. Okay? What I'm selling is the dream of the speaking business being off the ground and people being able to support their families. Maybe they get to all travel and go and see places together as a family because of the dream that is coming to life in front of them. There are so many pieces of the puzzle that need to fall into place before that happens. And so I want to be careful to be really exploring what is your dream, what does your ideal business look like. So that's one of the benefits. And then also being able to know what all the steps are to get there. So think about what are the pain points of your customers, and the opposite of that is going to be the benefits that you're actually selling. How would it be if you walked into your office every day in a great mood because, the culture there was stellar, everybody was happy to work there, whatever it might be. I don't know what you're going to be selling, but I want you to really be thinking about the benefits versus the features. The features is how you deliver. The benefits is the big picture outcomes, which oftentimes I think we get those mixed up. And often on sales calls, I think we forget to really get to that as well. Think about your community in kind of the same light. What is the value that you're bringing to the table by creating a community? One of the things that, I'm very proud of in my own world is that there have been people who have been a part of my world for sometimes 15 years. I have clients who, maybe have been on my mailing list for that period of time, and maybe it took until 3 or 4 years ago before they actually bought anything from me. You just never know when people are actually listening. And the value of community is that I've been able to bring those people into my community through my live events and what have you, and gotten them also to help each other. I think if you can have your people helping each other, that becomes an even higher form of education. And that is just, it's a beautiful thing. So really be looking at, okay, am I having a membership platform and a community? What are people going to get out of this? So some things to be thinking about as you build your course or community. Let me just give you these questions again. Who's your target market? Do you have them already? Do you need to build your list? What's the value that you're bringing? What problem are you helping to solve? How much do you offer? How do you lay it out? How do you organize it? What platform might you build it on? What are the features versus what are the benefits? And what's the value of your community? So we'll put those all over in the show notes. And I would love for you to go and check out what we're doing as we the best way to find out how we are unrolling this Wealthy Speaker School is to come on over to speakerlauncher.com/school. And as we develop it, you will be the first to know. I'm really excited. People who get onto our wait list, I think we're going to drip out a few little surprises as we go and maybe some free content. So I hope you'll go on over there and check that out. All right. Well, you're thinking about your course or your community, and that was my job for today. So with that, I will say, see you soon, Wealthy Speakers. Bye for now, everyone. Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Speakers Show. Please visit speakerlauncher.com for your free Wealthy Speaker audit, and visit speakerlauncher.com/podcast for show notes and many more resources to help you catapult your speaking business. See you soon, Wealthy Speakers.